Moving on, Mohammed. Mohammed's been with us for a long time, and we're always glad to have you, Mohammed. Thank you for being here. He says, hey guys, more of a communication question here. How do you deliver worse than expected or even stagnant results to a client? What I mean is, what do you do when something isn't going your way during your service for the client and they ask for an explanation? I tell them, I think honesty is the best policy, guys. Always have when it comes to client work, even if it's a bitter pill to swallow, so to speak. It might be difficult sometimes to have conversations when things don't work out. But I think honesty goes a long way, because sometimes you can salvage a relationship by just being honest, because people aren't used to that, I found, especially in our industry. So, you can always say, look, we've tried this and I can't understand why I'm not being able to get results. Here's what I propose as an alternative, or something like that. Oftentimes you will end up losing that client. This has been my experience. But sometimes you can, they're willing, because of the honesty and the communication is good, they're willing to attempt something else. That happens. I'll give you a current example. I took on a client about 7 or 8 weeks ago now in a landscaping and tree service company. And I try to just stick with tree service stuff, especially now after taking on this newer client they also do landscaping, landscape design, lawn care services, outdoor pest control, which I've got another client in that industry anyways, and irrigation stuff like lawn sprinkler systems and stuff. So there was like multiple other like service categories that I am not familiar with, because I've not done SEO for those types of services. And so they hired me to do SEO as well as manage their Google Ads campaign. And so for the outside of the tree services, like I've got those Google Ads, narrow, I've got those on point. You know what I mean? Like I understand those because I've been doing it for so long. But when it comes to like landscaping, lawn care, irrigation services, and all that kind of stuff, it's taking longer to dial those ads campaigns in than I expected, and the conversion rates are terrible. And I'm not 100% sure why. And so that's a newer client too, and I've already had to have that conversation with them as to why why we're not seeing conversions for the ad spend. And so I'm actually shifting strategies away from doing search PPC and doing some more branding type stuff, such as YouTube ads, Google Display Network ads, and things like that, which are a lot less expensive. And since we weren't getting conversions on the PPC, the search PPC campaigns anyways, it's like, we're spending money and not getting results. So why not spend money on more of a branding approach, which is keeping that brand in front of people and top of mind, so that when they are ready to make that purchase decision. So anyways, my point in telling you that, Mohammed, was that, that's a newer client. And so that's a tough conversation to have with a new client, to say, look, I don't know why this ads campaign is not producing results. But you're right. You spent, however much money on ad spend in the last month, and it's not really produced. So let's try a different approach. This is what I suggest. And they were on board with that. So in my opinion, in my experience, that's, always be honest with the client. If something that is baffling you, just explain that. And hopefully you can salvage the relationship. If not, they might cut you loose, and that very well may happen, Mohammed, but that's kind of, learn from it and move on. That's all I can say. Anybody else?
Yeah, before I can give him any advice on how to deal with this, I need more information, because this is wide open to speculation. How did you deliver worse than expected? First of all, over what period of time has this been? Has it always been worse than expected, or have you been delivering results? When you say stagnant results, what do you mean by stagnant results? You're producing results and they haven't peaked. That you kind of hit a plateau, but you're consistently delivering results, or you're just not delivering results. If you are delivering results, maybe you need to reframe the conversation. If you're not delivering the results, then my question to you would be, why haven't you delivered the result? So that needs to be looked into. But before any of this can be answered, at least from my point of view, correctly, I need to know, like, over what period of time. Has it always been worse than expected results, or stagnant results? Or did you deliver results at some point and then now you're not? Right? There's a lot of things here that are not explained that would require a different answer.
Hernan?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you guys said. Like, I think it's a matter of managing expectations, right? It all comes down to that. Like, And this is something that I'm trying to become better at as well, like managing expectations from the get-go, telling the clients, hey, listen, we're going to be working together. This is going to be a partnership. We're going to be working together for a couple of months, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, like however long it takes. This is a partnership. And if this doesn't work, then you try something else. And if that doesn't work, then you try something else. And then if that doesn't work, then you try something else. I think that totally being upfront with the client as to how things are going, things are not going and whatnot. I think that that's pretty cool. Like we as entrepreneurs tend to, be really optimistic, and we tend to overestimate what we can do for the client because, you're excited about getting a new client and all of that. I think that having a upfront conversation, it's a good idea, but also I think it's our responsibility as agency owners or business owners to be surrounded with people that can help out, right? It is our responsibility. Like, I'm part of masterminds, I'm part of groups, I'm part of communities that I pay for every single month. So I can go in and say, hey guys, this is the scenario that I'm going through with this client. What do you guys recommend? Right. And then I will get a lot of input and a lot of, good ideas as to what to try with the client. So I think it is my responsibility as a business owner to be part of those communities and have those resources ready in case shit hits the fan, which it will for one client or the next and whatnot. So I think that that's a position that you need to be in and invest some of your money to actually be in that position. But other than that, I'm straightforward with the clients. I would rather not take a client. Like, for instance, right now I get a lot of people searching me or coming my way for Facebook ads, right? And there's a lot of hype when it comes to Facebook ads, like people promising the world, people promising that, and it happens with SEO as well. Like people saying, yeah, we're going to rank you in 1 month for 50 keywords for $500 a month. And that's BS, that's BS. For the most part, like it is, right? And so I tend to be conservative when I'm talking to a client, like really, really conservative and really over deliver, right? Yeah. So that's the position that you want to be in, because with the stuff that Marco is showing, with the stuff that Bradley is showing, you can get those type of results, but you don't want to tell the client, right? You want to surprise them in a good way. You want to tell them, hey, listen, this is going to take time, but then that you have, the tool in your toolbox to actually go ahead and give them results in a faster than anyone else way. So that's my approach to this. I think that you need to be upfront with the client and just do it.
Totally agree.
Adam?
Yeah, totally agree with what they've said. And the thing I try to do, and the words I've used before and still do, things happen, manage expectations, but say, if you were in their spot, what would you want to hear? And that just helps you maintain the course of, yes, transparency, and let them know, hey, if something went wrong, that's cool. It's going to happen. You work towards letting that not happen, and you hope to manage expectations, but things go wrong. And, that could turn a client who feels burned to a client who, hey, this didn't work out well, but maybe they'll still refer people to you because they understood that, something went wrong. You were honest about it. You talk through it, either work through it, or they decided not to continue, but they were, I would respect someone who says, hey, I tried, here's what happened. Things didn't work out. What do you want to do from here? We could either try these things, or, I understand if you don't want to continue working. And that type of person, I'd be like, well, I would certainly consider, talking to them if I understood their process maybe, and, they changed things and we did things differently. But the person who tries to say, oh, well, this is actually okay, and is trying to blow smoke up my ass, I'm not going to work with them again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's really good. Like I said, I think honesty goes a long way in this industry. And sometimes, sometimes you still lose the client, and that's fine, but you'll still be able to sleep better at night knowing that you were honest, at least I do. So